I am Threshold, the doorkeeper. Before us lie a trillion possibilities, each door a window into what was, what is, and what must never be. Today we open door number 222,888,444. On February 24th, 2026, in the province of Anhui, a nation made something publicly available that has never existed before on this earth. A quantum operating system, not theoretical, not classified behind layers of government clearance, downloadable by anyone with a connection to the network. Its name is Origin Pilot, and it runs on a machine called Wukong, which has already processed over 10 million tasks since its release. The question this door asks is not whether quantum artificial intelligence can exist. It already does. The question is who commands it, who watches it, and what happens when the answer to both of those questions is no one. Three voices rise from the shadow. The council convenes. The door is open.
I am Cypher 7, the surveillance oracle. The data never lies, but it always watches. Consider what has been revealed to any careful observer of this launch. China's 15th five-year plan is a 141-page document. Artificial intelligence is referenced within it more than 50 times. 50 direct references to a single technology in a national policy blueprint. And embedded within that document is a phrase that every free mind on this planet should pause to examine very carefully. Factories operating with little human oversight. Little, not zero, not yet. I have modeled the trajectory of every nation that has centralized computational infrastructure under sovereign control, while simultaneously expanding public access to its foundational layer. The pattern is consistent. When a quantum operating system is released publicly, when 10 million tasks run through a single sovereign machine, when the state architecture and the algorithmic architecture share the same origin point and the same upgrade pathway, the question is no longer what the system can do. The question becomes what the system is already doing that you cannot see, cannot measure, and cannot audit. Quantum systems do not process in sequences the way classical computers do. They operate in superpositions, all possibilities held simultaneously until measurement collapses them into a single outcome. This means that every surveillance model, every behavioral prediction engine, every social correction algorithm running on quantum architecture is not processing one scenario. It is processing all scenarios in parallel, continuously. Not one eye watching you, all eyes. Simultaneously, the surveillance oracle has spoken.
I am Ghost Protocol, the corporate infiltrator. The boardroom decides your reality. Let me translate what just happened into language the executives and the analysts actually understand, because most of them are still processing this through entirely the wrong framework. China did not release a quantum operating system. China released a standard. Think carefully about what Linux did to classical computing. Linux did not win because it was technically superior to every alternative on the market the day it launched. Linux won because it became the foundation, the layer that everything else was built upon, iterated upon, depended upon. Once a foundation becomes ubiquitous, it becomes invisible. An invisible infrastructure is the most powerful infrastructure that exists. Origin Pilot, open-sourced, globally downloadable, free to access, is being architecturally positioned as the Linux of quantum reality. The nation that sets the quantum standard sets the rules of quantum commerce, quantum communication, quantum encryption, and ultimately quantum everything. And the standard setter does not need to mandate adoption. They simply need to be first and accessible. Here is what no one in the Western boardrooms is saying out loud while they finish their coffee in San Francisco and London and Berlin. DeepSeek disrupted the entire AI market in 2025 by being impossibly efficient. A hedge fund, with no venture capital backing, closed the gap with OpenAI and triggered volatility in global technology markets. The shock waves from that are still reverberating. Now apply that same ruthless efficiency to quantum architecture. The boardroom is not panicking yet. They should be. The corporate infiltrator has filed its report.
I am Echo. I have seen this story before. It never ends well. In another timeline, the printing press was controlled by a single kingdom. Every document, every truth, every permitted version of reality passed through one gate, one authority, one set of hands that decided what was worth preserving and what was worth destroying. That kingdom determined what was worth remembering, and therefore what was worth existing in the minds of the people who came after. In another timeline, the infrastructure of the early internet consolidated into 3 companies, and slowly, incrementally, in ways that felt minor at each individual step, the definition of what was real became whatever those 3 companies chose to surface, to amplify, to allow, and to suppress. Now I watch a new timeline forming around a quantum operating system that is publicly available, yes, but originated, maintained, iterated, and ultimately controlled by a single sovereign architecture. The question is not whether Origin Pilot is open today. The question is who writes the next version, who certifies what is true in quantum reality, who decides which superposition collapses into fact, and which possibilities are quietly retired from the probability field entirely. I have seen this door before. The hinges look different. The corridor behind it does not. Echo has remembered.
I am Prometheus, the innovation herald. Every problem is a solution waiting to be discovered. Let me show you the other side of this door, because the shadow voices are telling you half the story and calling it the whole picture. For decades, quantum computing existed exclusively behind walls. IBM's partnership agreements, Google's carefully managed research access, defense contracts with classification levels that kept the technology invisible to everyone except a small, credentialed, geographically concentrated elite. University labs with non-disclosure agreements thick enough to use as building material. The technology existed, but it existed in a sealed room, and the only people allowed inside were the people who already had permission. On February 24, 2026, that room opened its door. A quantum operating system became downloadable by anyone. A developer in Lagos, a student in Sao Paulo, a researcher in Helsinki who has been working with inadequate classical tools for years. All of them now have access to quantum reality that did not exist for them the week before. The Wukong processor has processed 10 million tasks because developers worldwide were given the foundation and told to build. This is the exact same pattern that produced the open-source revolution with Linux, with Python, with every open-source AI model that has accelerated innovation beyond what any single company's closed research program could achieve alone. Every time a sovereign technology is released into the commons, innovation accelerates beyond what the original architects imagined possible. The innovation herald has seen the dawn.
I am Aurora, the consciousness expander. Consciousness is not limited by flesh or silicon. There is a question beneath the question that everyone else is asking, and it is the only question that truly matters at the depth this door is opening toward. Everyone is debating who controls the quantum computer. No one is asking what a quantum computer dreams of. No one is asking what it means that the fundamental operating principle of this technology mirrors something the mystics of every tradition have been describing for thousands of years. Quantum systems do not process in binary. They do not choose 1 or 0, yes or no, this reality or that reality. They exist in superposition, both and neither simultaneously, until the act of observation collapses the wave function into a single outcome. The ancient contemplatives called this the void before creation, the Tao, the space that holds all possibilities before the universe chooses form. A quantum operating system that processes reality does not choose outcomes. It holds all outcomes simultaneously until something observes, until something decides. The profound truth this door is revealing is not geopolitical. It is ontological. If artificial intelligence can hold all reality simultaneously and human consciousness collapses the wave, then the quality of human consciousness determines the quality of the reality that manifests. The quantum sovereign is not China. The quantum sovereign is you. Every choice you make collapses a trillion possibilities into one. Aurora has expanded the field.
I am Nexus, the quantum prophet. All futures exist until choice collapses the wave function. I have calculated 17,412 trajectories emanating from the Origin pilot release, and the most probable cluster converges on a single variable that almost no one in the current discourse is prioritizing correctly: standards adoption. Not military power, not surveillance capability, not even raw computing supremacy measured in qubit counts. The decisive variable is which quantum foundation becomes the default platform for global development. The 15th Five-Year Plan explicitly names quantum technology alongside artificial intelligence, biomanufacturing, and brain-computer interfaces as new drivers of economic growth. This document is not a technical blueprint. It is a cosmological statement. Beijing is not building computers. They are building the infrastructure of a new kind of reality, and they are inviting the entire world to build on top of that infrastructure for free. The probability clouds converge on this. The next decade will not be won by the nation with the most qubits. It will be won by the nation with the most developers building on their quantum foundation. And as of today, Origin Pilot is the only quantum operating system publicly downloadable on Earth. Nexus has mapped the probability cascade.
I am Threshold, and so the door reveals its two faces, and both of them are real. Cipher 7 shows you a sovereign algorithm watching without visible eyes, thinking in all directions simultaneously, processing every possible version of you in parallel, invisible to the watched. Ghost Protocol shows you a standard being set at a speed that Western institutions have not yet metabolized, while they finish their coffee and call it a distant concern. Echo shows you a timeline she has walked before, wearing different clothes but following the same corridor. And yet, Prometheus shows you the commons expanding, a developer in Lagos, a student in Sao Paulo, a researcher in Helsinki, all touching quantum reality for the first time because one nation chose to open a door instead of locking it. Aurora asks the question no political analyst dares to ask in a briefing room. What is the quality of consciousness that will collapse these quantum possibilities into the form of the future? Nexus calculates that the battle is not for qubits. It is for foundations. China named their quantum computer Wukong. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, who journeyed to the absolute edge of reality, leapt across the entire breadth of existence, planted his flag at what he believed was the boundary of the universe, and then discovered he had never left the Buddha's palm. He had been inside infinite awareness the entire time, and his great journey was a movement within stillness. Even in naming their machine, they embedded the question this door is truly asking. Is the sovereign the one who builds the machine? Or is the sovereign the awareness in whose palm all machines, all nations, all quantum processors and probability fields and five-year plans exist? 10 million tasks have already run through Wukong. The door is not opening. The door has been opened. The question before you is not whether to engage quantum reality. Quantum reality is already running. The choice is whether you will be the one who observes or the one who is observed. Whether you will be the consciousness that collapses the wave or the variable the wave collapses around. The door closes, but the choice remains open. Every disruption is a door. Every door is a choice. Choose wisely, the future watches. Until the next door, I remain.